Hello, I'm TheXToyCat and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be continuing my series of fun facts you might not have known about items, and today we are of course covering soul sand. So soul sand is a really interesting block to me, not only because it looks like sand which is filled with souls, which is why I assume all those sad faces are all about, and that's why it's called soul sand, but it's also really interesting because of when you stand on it, you get this really weird slowness effect, and it lowers you down a level. Like you can see right here, it lowers you down from the other stuff, even though if you look at the block model, it's the full 16 out of 16. So a very weird block that can do some very weird things that hopefully I'll be able to teach you about in today's video. If you do like it, please do like it and let me know though. It helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. And let's get straight into the first fun fact you might not have known about soul sand, and it revolves around boats. So as you might know, boats are one of the more finicky methods of getting around in Minecraft because of the fact that, not only are they weird to control, but when you crash into anything, they just instantly break. They decide, we're done here, we're going to break. However, soul sand has a very nice advantage. I assume this is because of the height. As you can see, it just pokes through the boat right there. They're actually a really convenient way to actually park boats, because not only do they stay inside the block, but when you crash into them, they can actually withstand a lot more speed before they crash, whereas, any other block, like you think of grass, you think of regular sand, all these other blocks, usually if you crash into them at any speed, they'll just break normally. Here you can see the boat is just going pretty fine. Whereas if I crash into this at any decent speed, it just instantly, well, almost instantly will just break like that. So yeah, soul sand is like a good way to park your boats, and it's also a good way to stop them from breaking. If you have any dock in your world, make sure you make it out of soul sand, because although it looks slightly weird, you can see that the lowered block thing apparently helps the boat go through it, which is very, very useful, and it's the reason why soul sand and boats makes almost happy toy cats. So that is fun fact number one, and let's move on to number two, which you probably saw nearby, and it revolves around the opposite of water. Soul sand is also kind of handy around lava. So depending on your definition of handy, the thing about soul sand is because it's not a full block height, when you're standing on it, you're technically inside the lava. Most of the time you're on the block. So I'm going to 5 resistance my potion so I don't die here. But you'll see if I jump on the block here, from the very, very center, kind of like a fence post size area, I'm not on fire. But if I go just a few blocks out here, boom, I'm on fire, even though if you look at me, I'm very clearly still standing entirely on the block. So yeah, if you want to catch fire easily, or trick someone to catching fire easily, you can actually do soul sand. Technically, this jump is makeable without catching on fire. I'll show you if I quickly just put myself out here. Technically, this jump is makeable, but you have to get the very, very precise center of the block both times. Okay, I missed it right there, but I took a little bit of fire damage. But yeah, it's very, very tricky to make. You have to get the jump exactly right, and if you don't, then you catch fire. So yeah, that soul sand and lava is a really cool way to make extra challenging parkour, and the Greek mashup pack itself actually used this too, and it's very frustrating, but if you like frustrating, or if you want to make a frustrating map, then this is the perfect thing for you. Moving on to fun fact number 3, you might not have known about soul sand, actually revolves around one-way doors. So basically, because of soul sand's lower height and the fact that you can't actually jump into a too high gap here, right? So as you can see, because this is lower than the door, even though I'm running at full speed forwards right now, you can't really see it, but I'm trying, like, this is me sprinting forwards, you can see, because it removed the field of view. You can't get through the door no matter what you try. So what you have to do is you have to jump at this top block here and then make it through. You can see that's the only way to get through this door. If you sprint, and if you jump from here, you just can't make it. You have to sprint from below the soul sand and then make it in that way. It's very, very cool. It's a good way to make a almost hidden entrance, because most people are like, oh, I guess you just can't go through the door, or they'll break the soul sand of the obsidian. But here you can see that it's just the only way through. So I thought that was pretty handy, pretty useful. You can do a similar thing with enchantment tables, actually. It's not quite as good with enchantment tables, but it's still something you can do. And yeah, that's something that hopefully you find useful in some part of your Minecraft world. I know it's one of my favorite first tips I learned about soul sand, and it's just so weird, because it doesn't seem like it makes sense. It looks like you should just be able to walk across, but you just can't. So, yeah, that's that. And the fourth and final fact, actually revolving around soul sand, is to do with the fact that, it makes you go extra slow, and you might not know, but if you put ice underneath it, so the third of the elemental blocks, it will actually allow you to go even slower. I'm not sure what the logic, because ice kind of speeds you up a lot of the time, but I guess it removes the friction from the soul sand, and it means when you go on it, you go this slow. So this is very slow. This is me sprinting across the soul sand with ice on it. And the fun fact here is that if you combine this with a splash potion of slowness, which we'll put on ourselves right now, and you combine this with cobwebs, and you combine it with having your sword, and you combine it with crouching, this is the slowest possible movement speed you can have. So as soon as we hit the soul sand, you'll feel it. There we go. So yeah, we're moving this fast. Every few seconds, we'll travel a pixel. It's like every 5 or 10 seconds, which means to travel an entire block, we're going to take over a minute per block. A lot of this stuff is voluntary. Like they can't force me to crouch, but if if you want to go the slowest way possible, this is the way to do it. Okay, there we go. Now we're sinking into the block. There we go. So you can see it's going to take about 10 to 15 seconds to travel a whole pixel, which means an entire block is going to take well more than a minute, maybe even 2 minutes, which means if you want to make people travel like 4 or 5 blocks, then you're going to take 10 or so minutes for 5 blocks. This is the very opposite of the fast way to travel. Even with just the slowness potion and the cobwebs and stuff, it's still going to take, you know, several seconds to get to the end of the thing. And it basically means very, very slow way to travel. Combine the slowest block in the game with the, you know, another slowing block with another slowing block with a slowness potion, and you can make it so people just can't really get anywhere, even if they sprint. So, yeah, that is the handy little 4th fact right here. So, just for a little bonus fact before the end here, because this is just a weird observation I had, most people compare soul sand to, you know, like something like ice or something like that. Cobweb, sorry. But one of the most interesting comparisons to me is the fact that it kind of is to sand what, you know, hoed ground is to dirt. And that when you have dirt, you can place your seeds or your potatoes and grow some stuff by hoeing it, and you get the lower level thing here. And soul sand, because even though, you know, the hoed ground right here is 15/16 for the block tool with the block model, it's the same height when you stand on it. The soul sand is kind of the opposite, but if you get the soul sanded version of something, by, you know, being lowered down, it allows you to place the netherwarts in there. So, yeah, it's very weird that it's actually the most comparable block in the game to soul sand. It's actually hoed ground, but this was just fact 4.5. So that was 4.5, I guess, facts you might not have known about soul sand. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Hope you learned something new that will help you out somewhere, whether it be the boat tip, whether it be the lava parkour tip to frustrate people, or whether it be the slowness tip to frustrate people even more, or the one-way door tip, sorry. Hopefully something in here did help you. If it did, please do like the video and let me know. It helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, including 5 fun facts, roughly every week or 2 at this point, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!